everyone, this is Mason with TechFox, and today we are talking about streaming services. Now, why are we talking about this? Why is this even a topic of discussion? Well, if you saw one of my more recent videos, which you can find up in the cards, we talked about the recent update to the Xbox One, which included the integration of the Beam streaming service. Now, of course, you can still use Twitch to stream, but Beam is officially integrated into the user experience, and a lot of people are going to start switching over to Beam, I imagine, really just for simplicity's sake, especially if they aren't already using Twitch. So we're also going to be talking a little bit about YouTube gaming, just to kind of offer a little bit of a contrast. That's the topic of discussion today, is Twitch, Beam, YouTube gaming. Which one should you use? Well, I'm not here to convince you, but I am here to offer you information so you can make an informed decision. So what I've done is separate every streaming service into 10 basic categories that I feel make for a great live streaming experience, both for the viewer and for the streamer. The first category is from the perspective of the broadcaster. How easy is it to use? How easy is it to start up? That's going to be the first category, and we're going to rank them first, second, and third. Second category, obviously, is the viewing experience. There are much more consumers of this live streaming media than there are producers. Next is the site or app design. Then there's the video quality. It's kind of a smaller category, not much to talk about here, but it's still important. Next is the audience size. Now, obviously, some of these are newer than others, and so their audience isn't going to be as big. Next is the community. What is the community like? Next is accessibility. Can I take this app on the go? Can I watch it on my phone? Can I use it on my Xbox and my PlayStation? Next are top contributors. Even if there is a better service out there, you may want to stick with this service because the people you like and follow use this service. Next is monetization. How easy is it to make money? And finally, probably the most fun category is unique features. What does each service offer that the other two don't? So for the broadcaster experience, I have to give first place to Beam, and the reason I do that is, first of all, for the extremely low latency, and I mean low latency, like less than a second. So what you're doing when you're playing is displaying almost instantly on the screen of your viewers. Beam is also extremely easy to set up, especially on the Xbox. Second place goes to Twitch. They know what works. They haven't changed much. They followed a basic formula. They do, however, have more third-party support for other applications and bots and on-screen annotations and effects than the other two services do, mostly just because they've been around the longest. The software that gets last place in this category is YouTube gaming. Not to say that it's bad, it's actually pretty darn good, especially compared to how it was when the service initially started. It just doesn't have anything to offer that the other two don't. Now we move on to the viewer experience. Again, I have to give first place to Beam here. They've actually been pretty innovative with some of the features they included to make the viewing experience even better. So the more time you spend watching or streaming, you begin to collect two things: experience and also sparks. Experience gets you to level up, and that's a quick way to look at another individual and see exactly how active they are. The sparks are what you can use as an in-app currency to make things happen. You're not just watching someone play. They can spawn enemies. They can give their favorite broadcaster some sort of requisition or some sort of ability. That is definitely a huge part into what makes the viewing experience the best on Beam. Second place goes to YouTube gaming, and it only barely gets second here because it has one feature that the other two don't, and that is video scrubbing. YouTube gaming specifically, you can go back in time in case you need to get up and go to the bathroom and you miss something, some awesome play, and you see people going crazy about it in the comment section. You can't go back and revisit that immediately on Beam or Twitch, but you can with YouTube gaming, and I've done this myself several times. Not to mention, YouTube gaming has a seamless integration into just traditional YouTube, which is very convenient. And then finally, Twitch, and there's really nothing wrong with watching your favorite broadcasters on Twitch. It's just nothing's really changed in the 5+ years since they've started doing this. The only things that have changed, funny enough, have come in the last few months because these other services have started doing it. So the site, app, and design, you're gonna start seeing a trend here. I give this to Beam. They have a really beautiful user interface on their website. I will say the app is, while it's very good looking and very snappy, I will say it's a little bit lacking in comparison to the YouTube gaming app. However, because the site looks so good and you're able to find everything you want to find very quickly and easily, you can start streaming easily, you can find new people to watch very easily. The whole thing is just super easy to use and it looks amazing. So I'm going to give this one to Beam. Second place I'll give to YouTube Gaming. It's separated from standard YouTube, which I did not know until I started making this video. There is actually a separate place for YouTube Gaming. You actually type into Google YouTube Gaming. It's a whole separate experience. I did not know that, and it looks much more like Twitch or Beam or the others. Not to mention it has a dedicated app. It's not the YouTube app. I have 3 YouTube apps. I have the traditional YouTube application that comes on every single iPhone, and I have a YouTube Studio app for people like myself who make YouTube videos and want to have some extra functionality when they're on the go. And there's also a specific YouTube Gaming app. I will say the mobile app for YouTube Gaming is the best. It's very good. It's super easy to use and it's really easy to find what you're looking for. Not to mention, with the YouTube Gaming app, you can actually broadcast from your phone. It's pretty crazy. I'll talk more about that in just a minute. And of course, last place, again, goes to Twitch. The interface is dated. I mean, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. Nothing's really changed. And it can also be a little bit confusing for newcomers. I was using Twitch for several weeks before I really figured out exactly where to find everything. So video quality is important. All of them look pretty good. It used to not be the case a few years ago. Live streaming content, you had to have a really decent machine and what was considered to be a pretty quick internet connection in order to make any content that looked any good at all. Now they all look good. In this regard, I do have to give the crown of first place as far as video quality goes to YouTube. You can stream if, again, you have the hardware and the internet to do it. You can stream in 4K and 60 FPS. And the interface is HTML5, which is a good thing, but it is possible. So I do have to give credit where credit's due. Second place I'll have to give to Beam. Technically, the stats that they boast are the same as Twitch, and that's 1080p, 60 FPS, also using HTML5 and transcoding for all streamers, which Twitch does, but again, really only in reaction to Beam doing it. So audience size, first place here obviously has to go to YouTube, but only if you also include the number of people that watch the on-demand videos, so not the live videos. YouTube Gaming puts just as much an emphasis on the live videos as it does the already pre-recorded videos. Really just because people will watch those not necessarily within YouTube Gaming, they can watch those in traditional YouTube. Technically, they can watch live videos in traditional YouTube as well. It's a little bit confusing here, and I think that's where they lose people. If you're talking about strictly live videos, the crown obviously goes to Twitch here. 100 million unique users every single month. Beam, of course, no matter how you slice it, is the smallest. So if you're looking for a platform where you have the potential to get really big, Beam might not be it. It may be it a few months or years down the road, but it definitely isn't right now. Now the community, okay. So it depends what you want in a community. If you're looking for what I think most people are looking for, an uplifting, positive, encouraging, or if critical, then at least constructive. And if that's what you're looking for, the tight-knit community that surrounds Beam would definitely be my choice. Second place would go to YouTube Gaming. You can basically think of the comment section like your standard YouTube comment section, of course, with some of the crossover from Twitch, because a lot of people switched from Twitch to YouTube Gaming, and their respective communities also made that transition. Probably the worst community on this list is the Twitch community. Oh my goodness, not that every single broadcaster out there has a bad community, but most of the really big ones, it is just a cesspool. Some of the stuff people say on here is just despicable. And hey, I am an advocate for free speech, so I mean, if you could say and do whatever it is you want to do in that chat section, but wow, it is toxic. Accessibility, this is a fun topic. So essentially, where can you find these various services? So obviously they all are on the internet. They all also have a mobile version, both on iOS and on Android, but from there's some differences. So first place, I definitely have to give it to Twitch. Twitch has a hand in literally everything. It's on Apple TV, Fire TV, Chromecast, Xbox One, PS4. You can also watch, you can't broadcast, but you can watch Twitch streams on the 360 and PS3. There's also an app on Roku, and you can view and broadcast from the NVIDIA Shield. So as far as accessibility goes, if you have literally a Wi-Fi connected device in your home, it probably has a Twitch app for it. Second place is Beam. Again, it has the previously mentioned ones. However, a couple differences here is that the Xbox One app is fully integrated. So even though, yes, Twitch also has an Xbox One app, the Beam app for Xbox One is much better. It's actually a mandatory download when you update your system. Beam is literally part of it. It is part of the interface. It's not its own application. However, it does not have Xbox 360, PS3 or PS4 support. And then finally, YouTube gaming is pretty limited. A lot of devices have the YouTube application, but again, YouTube gaming is its own separate thing. It has its own separate mobile app. It has its own interface if you're watching it online. But that's really it. Other than mobile and the computer, that's really the only place it exists currently. So top contributors, the individual people that make the services what they are, that will really be a major determining factor on what service people use. Number one, if we include the on-demand content, has to go to YouTube. If you take the top 10 content creators on YouTube and YouTube gaming, they have cumulatively 183,670,504 followers. That includes people like PewDiePie, Vanos Gaming, Markiplier. Twitch follower, the top 10 Twitch streamers, their followers add up to about a tenth of that at 17,657,031 at last count. There aren't any hard numbers on Beam, so what I did is I assumed that Beam has 10% of what Twitch has, which would mean 1% of what YouTube has. So by those calculations, you'd be roughly at 1.7 million for their top 10 contributors if you add them all up. And there aren't any standout people really on Beam. You wouldn't really mention someone that streams on Beam as being like super high profile. So monetization, how do you make money off of these services? The easiest one to make money off of, I'm gonna have to give first place to YouTube. YouTube, it is the easiest to do. If you're partnered with YouTube already, you can switch over to YouTube Gaming and stream live content and monetize that as well. There's no extra steps involved. It's a little bit more tricky when you get into the dedicated streaming services like Twitch and Beam. Not to mention their on-demand videos are monetized as well, and that's where most of the revenue comes in. Because you may get, if you're really popular, 10,000, 12,000 views on a live video, but you can get millions on an on-demand video because it doesn't require people to be watching at the time of filming. It is second easiest to make money on Twitch because A, you have a bigger potential audience, and B, their requirements to become a Twitch partner are less stringent than those on Beam. Essentially, if you want to be a Twitch partner, you have to have an established and steady growing audience and chat. You have to broadcast at least 3 times a week, and your content must adhere to their rules, terms, and guidelines. Beam, again, has the smallest potential audience, so I gotta give them last place here. Not only do they have the smallest potential audience, but they also have the most rules on becoming a partner. To be partnered with Beam, you have to have 300 or more followers and be growing, have a view count, a live view count in the 30s consistently throughout the stream, be able to broadcast in 720p or better, which isn't very hard to do, have clear and unique branding, broadcast at least 3 to 5 times a week, have a webcam, and follow their terms of service. So essentially, you're only going to get big if you're already doing a lot of these things anyway, but there are more stipulations there, so I do have to give them last place. So let's talk about the unique features, the final category. What do these services offer that the other ones don't? This is where I have to give first place to Beam. They're super low latency, their interactive SDK, and their integrated Xbox interface, not to mention a great looking and easy to use website. It's just all very seamless. And of course, the ability to interact with your favorite broadcasters is a huge selling point. And you can also, if you're interested, help create some of these applications. That's really the biggest thing here in general, is this interactive SDK. I think that's huge. Second place I will give to YouTube Gaming for a couple of reasons. They have the best video archival process, really just because that's what they started out as. Once you finish a live video, you can say, I want to keep this like on my YouTube channel, and it's there, like readily available, basically immediately, and it's monetized. and it's in Google search results, and it's on YouTube. Also, the video scrubbing, which I already mentioned, you can go back in time, you can rewind while it's live, while something is going on live. I literally did this yesterday. I was watching a live stream and I had to answer the phone, and I missed a pivotal part of the live stream. They were introducing something and I missed it, and I would have had to go look it up or wait for the stream to not be live anymore. But no, I was able to rewind and watch that little portion again, and that is huge. I guarantee you the other two services will be doing that at some point. There's also the mobile streaming, which I mentioned briefly. If you're using an Android device and you have the YouTube gaming app, you can live stream straight from your phone. And finally, unique features for YouTube, they have what's called a super chat. So you can assign a dollar amount to a comment that you provide, and the larger that dollar amount, the longer the comment sits there. So essentially, as it's scrolling, if you attach a dollar amount to it, like let's say $2, it will actually stay there for, I don't know, 2 minutes or something. Everyone's gonna get to see that you donated, and your broadcaster will see you donated. It's pretty cool, and it's really easy to do. Last is gotta be Twitch. I mean, they pioneered the whole live streaming service, so you have to give them credit there. But, you know, you can't ride on that forever. It's been almost 6 years. The only things I can really think of are the advanced chatbots, which I've already mentioned, and it also has the most flexibility when it comes to adding music. It has a whole music section, and the other two don't have that functionality. So if music is a really big part of your live streaming experience, then Twitch has the most flexibility in that regard. So if I pile all of this together, first, second, and third place in all of these 10 categories, the overall winner is Beam, and I think you saw that coming. The one thing holding Beam back is the audience size, but I don't think that is super important, because with a company like Microsoft backing it and automatic installation across every single Xbox One, I guarantee you that audience is going to grow, especially if they keep innovating like they've done already. Second place would go to YouTube Gaming, really just because of the functionality that already exists in YouTube that they brought over to YouTube Gaming and works really well there. And last place is Twitch. Now, Twitch has the upper hand at this point really because they have the biggest live audience, and they also have the biggest names in live streaming. I just want to offer you this information so you can make an informed decision, and nobody is saying you have to exclusively use just one. But I want to know what you guys think. What live streaming service do you see yourself using going forward? Go ahead and answer the poll right up there in the corner. I want to know, is it YouTube Gaming? Is it Twitch? Is it Beam? Or is it another one that we haven't discussed here? But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. You can watch some of my other content over here if that interests you. If you want to see other videos similar to this one, write it down in the comment section below. I read these comments and I get feedback, and it helps me to know what to make for you guys. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see other videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button right there, and I will catch you guys in the next one.